Alright guys, welcome back to Mass Effect number 1, Legendary Edition. Now I think we're going to just wander around and speak to some of the crew to try to develop the characters, develop the story behind them a little bit. All helped out build up good relationships with these guys, which will come into play later on.
Anything you need, Commander?
Oh, here we go. Tactical appraisal, looking for personal input. Yes, that one.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
Speak your mind.
Alenko, when it's just you and me, you can consider it off the record.
That's a generous attitude. Okay. I think there's something wrong with all this. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
I think I know what you're saying, my friend.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Back in Bart? What's Bart? Anyway, sorry guys, I forgot to say thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave a like if you can. As always, very, very happy that you're here to watch this with me. Okay, so what did they train you for?
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock.
Right, that's
the kids they
Bart.
hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Okay, and you think this wasn't an accident?
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Okay, keep going.
Jump Zero is a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. But that's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
Okay, talk to me whenever you like, my friend.
Alenko, there's no regulation that says you can't be friends with your commander.
I appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a whiner.
A whiner?
Besides, I've got my past squared away.
Okay, good talk. Right, let's find the next friend to talk to. Joker. Let's have a chat with Joker.
I prefer gold to silver, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
Earning medals is hard. Really? That's not why I'm here. You sure you want that?
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours. Fun.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
7 weeks growing that beard? I look like that after 5 o'clock. No, never mind. So, let's investigate. Give me a status report.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
He's very full of himself, this fella, isn't he? I just want to talk. Never mind.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Oh, your disease? Look at that. Are you contagious? Now that's why you should be staring at him like that, Commander Shepard, giving him the eyeballs. I think you should take a couple of steps back. No, but what is this disease? I didn't mean to insult you, but what is it?
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
I think you should just stay firmly there in the pilot seat. Don't move, don't say anything, don't do anything. How'd you get your nickname?
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was going to say, it's not really because you're funny. That's not an answer. I like to make little children laugh. What?
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Okay. So you weren't happy. Oh, here we go. Let's reach down in the emotional bucket here.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Okay, we don't need... No, hold on, let's go back.
I need to know more about this Vrolik syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do.
Well, just don't put them in his
It's
legs.
an extremely
I think.
rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
How do you do your job? I think we know how he does his job.
You're not going to break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship.
We'll
Better,
get you a bucket.
actually. So don't worry about it.
Okay, that's all good.
I have to go.
All
Good
right,
chat.
see you.
Well, that was an interesting one. Can we use this lift? No, we can't. Right, where are the rest of these reprobates? A good commander learns to speak with his crew because it gets them on his side and also gets him extra XP. Right, we've got quite a few down here. Let's have a chat with Rex first.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Oh, come on, just a little one.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Yeah, that's actually not so much fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
The Turians, that's what's her name? Tally's race. So it's not the same. It isn't?
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation?
Okay, it's not the same.
An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
Yeah, got your point, yeah.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
Good point, well made.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Oh yeah, getting touchy.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Well, why can't we? Surely, with the galaxy at our fingertips.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
God, it's a really sad story.
So long, Rex.
I do hope
Shepard.
that we get the... we got 62 points out of that. I do hope we get the chance to do a little justice for them.
Commander, you have a minute to talk?
Not for a personal chat, but that's actually what I'm doing today, so of course, yes, of course.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
Okay, I think you better explain a little bit more.
Don't mince words, Chief. What's your concern?
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
So, she doesn't trust them.
You don't trust the Alliance's allies?
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies. We, humanity, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
That's not really going to work in a galaxy-sized, galaxy full of different alien races. We do need allies.
Standing up for ourselves doesn't mean standing alone.
I don't think we should turn down allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As noble as the Council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
Not necessarily.
I don't see that as inevitable.
Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human.
Ooh.
It's not racism,
Ouch.
not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
And why do you feel like... I think the best way to deal with this sort of... what's the word? This concept is to just kind of ask her questions.
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
Do you like this one? Just shut up, okay? Just shut up. What about your service?
Doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, sir. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
So, just one rotation. Well, you deserve better. Yeah, you do.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
Okay, but you still have to work with them.
All right. I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're going to have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
Oh, look at that. What about me? Oh, is this the first shot at a romance line? Which cheek? What about my cheeks?
Would you kiss anyone I ordered you to?
Oh, no!
That depends, sir. If you ordered me to kiss a superior officer, that would be a violation of the regs concerning fraternization. That would make it an illegal order. I'd be required to decline and relieve you of command.
Well, I think it's only frowned upon.
Sir.
Okay, I won't ask again. I think the message is clear. So how are you doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
Well, I believe her.
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least, I don't think she lies very often.
Yeah, she's probably really bad at it. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end of our conversation. Thanks a lot, Ashley.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Or
Looking
Williams.
forward to it, sir.
Right, so, that was a bit of a crash and burn there. He gave his best shot, if you can call it that. Let's have a little chat with Garrus. I hope you don't mind me going around all these people. This is our requisition officer, who will have some weapons for us, but we'll have a little look at those a bit later. We've managed to catch everybody in here apart from Garrus.
Commander, nice work out there. I knew working with a Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
That is true. You shouldn't complain, it's not that bad.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
Oh, hang on, we've had this chat before.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that.
We have had this chat before.
But as
We got saddled with red tape.
handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
Okay, it's tough.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC.
Okay, great.
Either
Make the most of
without
it.
CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Get the job done my way for a change within my rules?
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
Right, that's it. You got told. You got owned. I don't know if that was a good idea, though. So let's go down and see if we can find a couple of others. Tally. Let's have a little word.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small.
Okay.
I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Well, normally they're not, or gathering information on us. Don't be so suspicious. The ship is special.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
So she's into ships.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
300 years ago.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work, mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Okay.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force.
Oh, there we go.
Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI.
I think this is man's greatest fear
Over
right now,
time,
isn't
we
it?
made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Well, this is it. So, you know, developing smart AI could turn on you. As soon as they realize that their creators are the problem, it's all over. Isn't AI research illegal? I'm not going to judge it was a mistake, although it probably was in retrospect.
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Ooh, like the Borg. A neural network.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Exactly, a hive mind.
So there's some sort of group consciousness.
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input.
Oh.
Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious.
So they have more programming power
But
if
when
there
they're
are
in
more
close
of them.
proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
That's really cool. I mean, I get it. Why did they turn on you?
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Well, no, I can imagine it did. Yes, what happened next?
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first.
Oh,
A general
right.
order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
God, this is shades of the Matrix, isn't it? You know, we know that we were the first to burn the skies or something like that. So they decided to preemptively strike against the AI they'd created. I mean, this story's been told a few times, I think, in the various places. Although this is an older story, so it's kind of cool. So they defended themselves. What did you expect? No, they defended themselves. Of course they did.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld.
God.
We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Serves you right. I don't think so. I mean, it just happened, right? They made their choices. It's not up to us to judge them. But what a really interesting story. I hope you don't mind me going through all these stories. It's maybe an optional video. Maybe I should just put this out and put optional in the title if you want to hear the backstories of all of the crew. This is really cool. Investigate. Quarian to the pilgrimage. Do we need more?
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Ooh, that's really cool. So do they... I bet they don't always
Can a
accept it.
captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Okay, this is really
I
cool.
want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I think we'll come back to her. We've got
I
a
should
good
go.
amount of information.
See you
We'll ask her
later.
about Quarians a little more later, but that was really cool. So they basically created the Geth, the AI, and it kind of, well, backfired horribly. So I like these stories. This is really, really cool. So where are we headed now? There must be some... Where is Liara? There you are, Liara.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
Okay, yeah, how are you doing?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
Yep, she's pretty good.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
Well, just a simple "you're welcome" will do. Don't mention it. You're welcome.
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
I know. It's gonna be fine.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
I'd like to talk about you. Okay.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Okay, sound like that sounds boring. You must get lonely.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Oh, that sounded creepy.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers, but I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau, I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
Okay, how come?
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
It's not foolish. No, it's not foolish.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating.
What? Because
You
I'm
were
an
marked
ancient...
by the beacon on
Life
Eden
form.
Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
Ah, so I'm fascinating.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
I wasn't serious. Relax, it's
Calm
fine.
down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
Okay, sure. Alright, tell me about the Asaris.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Rumors?
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
Wow. Look at the options. The last one. That's disgusting. How is that possible? I mean, I suppose you don't really need the details, but let's find out.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. What about the other parent?
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Wow. What do you mean, what about the age difference? I don't understand the question.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Oh, that age difference.
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Okay, so who was your father?
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
But you don't know who it was.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face.
Isn't that interesting?
It is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
God, wow, that is such a different way of thinking about it, isn't it? You know, they encourage diversity, this race. So if they partner up and mate with someone of their own species, they're just frowned upon. I mean, that's awesome. She was ashamed. Well, then you don't know that she's too ashamed, but she might be.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Wow, what
I
interesting.
Goodbye.
Interesting that she was calling her. Wow, I got a level up there. And 98 XP for talking to Liara. But interesting, she was referring to her father as she as well. My God, it's difficult to have a conversation, but I'll try and keep up. That was really, really cool. Right, guys, well, look, this is an optional episode. I just thrown this in here because I thought it was really cool to have a chat with the crew. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It was just a little wander around of the crew. They all had some really interesting stories, and we learned a lot about each of them individually, but also a lot more about this universe that we're in. Thanks for watching. Just an optional episode. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like anyway, and well, I'll be back with more from the main game in the next part. Take care, all the best, and good night.